things have happened with Steam where basically uh, Steam is no longer offering PayPal for payment purposes. PayPal has been removed from the Steam store. You can no longer utilize PayPal to make a purchase on Steam. And I believe, although Hero Hey will probably get into it, yes, Selena, yes, PayPal has been removed as a payment option on Steam. Is it only for certain currencies, Yard Dog? Okay. It may only be for certain currencies. That's why I wanted to watch this video. Because the only thing I heard was the only thing I saw was a headline saying that PayPal is gone from Steam. Yard Dog is saying that it's in specific currencies, not platform wide. Let's take a look. Let's get some info about this. But this is one thing I do believe I heard about this is that I believe PayPal put out something that said they had to be removed from Steam because of their agreements with the credit card companies, with the payment processors. So that is what PayPal put out as a statement for why it had to get removed from certain parts of the country on Steam, is because of their partnerships with the credit card company payment processors. Because PayPal works via credit card and banks. So let's take a look.
Well, today is August 13th, the day that we have heard so much about, that being the day that here on YouTube, the age verification AI system is going to be rolling out. Although, as discussed a few days ago, it seems like we were already having preemptive issues here on the platform that very may well have been connected to this AI rolling out. Maybe YouTube updated some stuff behind the scenes that was causing issues. I'm not 100%.
Okay, that was an odd angle, Kirby. Yeah, it's not that I don't appreciate you licking my inner thigh, but that was an interesting angle.
This AI rolling out, maybe YouTube updated some stuff behind the scenes that was causing issues. I'm not 100% sure, but there was some very strange occurrences, including, as discussed, a creator getting hit by the age verification AI days ago. So that was all quite odd indeed. But we're here to talk about Steam and Valve because there's also an update to all that stuff today too. As you can see here, for example, on a subreddit, PC Master Race. The post saying Valve confirms Steam purchases with PayPal now limited to just 6 currencies and uncertain of when it will be fixed. Now, this is especially interesting when you take in all the context that's been going on lately. For example, MasterCard was one of the payment processors that was getting a lot of backlash recently, given the whole collective shout situation and all that. And of course, a lot of very based people were calling up these payment processors and...
Yeah, for those who are not familiar, I don't know, some of you may not have been here when we've talked about this, but basically, MasterCard tried to say, we never put our thumb on the scale when it comes to payment processing, and Valve and itch.io specifically said they had to remove these games from their catalogs specifically because of the payment processors. Valve even put in a 15th TOS requirement for uploading a video game to the Steam platform, saying that it must comply with the payment processors, in addition to everything else in Steam's TOS for platforming your game on Steam.
Let's just say annoying the heck out of them on their phone lines, right? You know the deal. And so a few days later, MasterCard then makes this damage control statement on Twitter. They get a ton of backlash for that. They get community noted, etc., etc. And Valve even issues a formal response. In a statement provided to PC Gamer, Valve said that it tried to work things out with MasterCard directly prior to removing the games and suggested that MasterCard did have at least an indirect influence on the outcome, saying specifically, MasterCard did not communicate with Valve directly despite our request to do so. A Valve representative said, MasterCard communicated with payment processors and their acquiring banks. Keep that in mind, acquiring banks relates to today's news. Payment processors communicated this with Valve, and we replied by outlining Steam's policy since 2018 of attempting to distribute games that are legal for distribution. Payment processors rejected this and specifically cited MasterCard's Rule
There you
5.12.7
go.
and risk to the MasterCard brand.
Which, again, the latest executive order in the United States basically just kicked this straight in the teeth. With the latest executive order signed, the debanking said, now this is banks, this is not credit card. I don't think this applied to credit card companies. I think this applied only to banks. So it may only be a matter of time before it gets applied to credit card companies, that you cannot decline payment for anything in the US. Banks cannot decline payment for anything under the auspice of it can hurt our brand. Now, I've said this before, it's an executive order, which is, it's not a law. This is not a law codified by Congress. There absolutely needs, the executive order is a stopgap. It is a temporary stopgap. Congress now needs to get its fucking ass in gear, stop the pissing contest with one another, and actually start getting a law on the fucking books that completely neuters banks and credit cards for dictating what people can and cannot purchase. That's what needs to happen. The executive order, as you guys have been saying, it's a band-aid. It is not a full-time fix. The House and the Senate need to get their shit. Oh, excuse me. They need to get their shit together and actually get a fucking law on the books. Until that happens, this executive order is not going to last for very long.
Keep that in mind too, actually, acquiring banks and MasterCard brand, as that takes us back to whitehouse.gov. Yes, this official government statement. I'm talking about the executive order that was recently signed. In section 4,
Yep.
We'll read some of this. They talk about removing reputation risk and politicized or unlawful debanking. Within 180 days of the date of this order, each appropriate federal banking regulator shall, to the greatest extent permitted by law, remove the use of reputation risk or equivalent concepts that could result in politicized or unlawful debanking. And that takes us to today's news.
And again, notice the federal banking regulator. I do not know if this the federal banking regulator, I don't know if that covers, does it? Does this apply in regards to the federal banking regulator that covers credit cards? I wasn't sure if they fell under the, shall we say, jurisdiction of the federal banking regulator. If it does, cool. Absolutely. Further down, let's see, guidance document manual, blah, 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 blah. Rules such concepts should be made clear by each appropriate federal banking regulator to formal guidance to their examiners. Shall also consider rescinding and amending existing regulations consistent with applicable law to eliminate or amend any regulations that could result in politicized unlawful debanking, to ensure any regulated firms or individuals' reputations considered for regulatory supplier bank rank enforcement purposes solely to the extent necessary. Okay, so it doesn't actually say it in this paragraph. I'm guessing there's more than just this paragraph.
That could result in politicized or unlawful debanking. And that takes us to today's news. On August 13th, right here, this article from PC Guide titled Valve Confirms Steam Purchases with PayPal Now Limited to Just 6 Currencies, Uncertain of When It Will Be Fixed. Many regions will notice PayPal no longer works on Steam. We're going to scroll right down to Valve's official statement here. And remember when I said keep in mind the acquiring bank thing from earlier? Well, you can see that playing out right here, too, in the official statement.
Yeah.
Reads, in early July 2025, PayPal notified Valve that their acquiring bank for payment transactions in certain currencies was immediately terminating the processing of any transactions related to Steam. This affects Steam purchases using PayPal in currencies other than Euro, Canadian dollar, Great Britain pound, Japanese yen, Australian dollar, and US dollar. We hope to offer PayPal as an option for these currencies in the future, but the timeline is uncertain. We are also evaluating adding additional payment methods on Steam for the customers affected by this. In the meantime, please use one of our other current payment methods during checkout. If you can't use any of the available options, you can consider using.
Okay, so my question is, notify Valve that they're acquiring bank. So my question is PayPal's decision based on they just arbitrarily decided it, or the bank backing PayPal said you will do this with the acquiring bank thing? You can't use PayPal right and you're on Steam right now? Really? Ah. Leo, quick question. Is it possible that Steam is going through an update? If it is, because we've seen this before where Steam itself goes through an update and it screws up the Steam store. Is it possible that the Steam store is going through an update right now? We have seen that happen before live on stream. So I don't know. But yeah, this is, I'm guessing this is the bank backing PayPal that allows PayPal to function. Nope, says up to date. I don't know. I don't know, Leo.
A Steam wallet code to add funds to your account. So PayPal is telling Valve that their acquiring bank is the one that's really stopping these transactions from happening in certain currencies. So this is all very suspicious, isn't it? We've got these payment processors, including PayPal, and above them, the acquiring banks that they continue to talk about, and recently PayPal putting blame on the acquiring bank
we gotta get deets.
for not facilitating these transactions anymore on Steam. But according to Valve, it sounded like MasterCard was communicating with other payment processors and their acquiring banks in the context that seems like they were very happy to all take action against Steam to remove certain adult games, in particular ones that people, that certain feminists in Australia, I'm talking about Collective Shout, were complaining about, right?
No. Zero. We need to call them by their given name. Collective cunts. It's their given name. Use it.
So it makes you wonder, is this just all the fault of the acquiring banks at the top of the chain? Or is it the payment processors and the acquiring banks who are all doing this stuff together? We don't know like the exact details, but it's all extremely suspicious, and I don't think it looks good for the payment process.
Well, it's... My guess
there seems to be no sign of intelligent life anywhere.
If I were to guess, so MasterCard communicating with its payment processors and their acquiring banks. I think what I think that may be referencing is, you know how just about every credit card is, like, not every credit card, sorry, that's incorrect. But you know how a lot of credit cards are basically through a bank. You know how you can get a credit card through your bank, and how every bank has basically a credit card that it can offer its customers. They are not all of them, Tybo. Not all of them are. There are some credit cards that are, I think, where... No, you're right. Yeah, they all are. Yeah, I was right the first time. They are. Yeah, so like every bank facilitates a credit card. That's probably what it's talking about. Is that my guess is that's what it's meaning is with the acquiring banks is it's basically talking about the banks that are behind all of the credit cards that are out there in the world. And the payment processors I'm wondering if they're referring to it communicating with payment processors. Maybe that's just the facilitation department that's facilitating payment processing in stores and everything. I'm guessing that may be it. I don't know. Well, shit, a lot of stuff going on here. Hang on. Executive order inclusion of reputation risk removal and politically motivated service denial rule applies to all federal financial regulators and the Financial Stability Oversight Council that include CFPB, OCC, FDIC, and Federal Reserve, all of which touch parts of the payment ecosystem. Okay, very good. So that's why PayPal's still working with USD.
Or the acquiring banks, whoever those specific banks are. The only distinction that I can really make based off the publicly available information is that MasterCard still looks worse than PayPal. Like,
yeah,
we don't have Valve making a statement about PayPal, like going to these acquiring banks and trying to get them to.
Yeah, like again, from the sound of it, PayPal, based upon the statement. Now, this is going on the assumption that PayPal is being genuine in their statement, which in this day and age, you take it with a grain of salt, a hefty grain of salt. But if we take what PayPal said, their statement at face value, it was not PayPal that made the decision to do this. It was the banks, or bank singular, bank or banks, backing PayPal and allowing PayPal to function, very much like how the banks back the credit cards, or the credit card is run through the bank. So so according to PayPal's statement, they didn't make this call. The banks that they rely upon to function made the call. It may or may not be true. Again, we have to take it with a very serious grain of salt, especially given all the bullshit we've been seeing from the entire banking industry throughout this entire debacle. But, PayPal relies on Wells Fargo and Chase. There we go. So, yeah, so it is entirely possible that PayPal may not have made this call on their own. It is possible that PayPal may have been forced into doing this. Potentially. Maybe. I will say maybe.
Take action against Steam. Instead, it's apparently all the acquiring banks' fault for what's going on with PayPal and Steam right now, according to them, unless we get conflicting information. For all I know, hypothetically, Valve comes out with a statement later today or tomorrow, and it's like, no, we can actually see that PayPal went to the acquiring bank, but so far, that hasn't happened. But that essentially happened.
And if that did happen, if it's bullshit, Valve has already been upfront and said, like the first time, that when MasterCard said, oh no, we didn't do anything like that, and Valve actually said, no, they fucking did do this. So if it was actually PayPal, I would expect Valve to actually come out and say, yeah, PayPal was the one that did this. I would just think that they would disclose that if that was the case.
Has happened with MasterCard, where as we went over, MasterCard was trying to deny this stuff, and Valve was like, nah, you guys ain't getting out of this. We know that, sure, while you guys didn't like directly come to us, you did go to them, the them being the acquiring banks, and, you know, then helped enact this censorship on our platform. So yeah, let me know what you think about that stuff as we try to put the pieces of the puzzle together. And now we'll take a look at the rest of this article here from PC Gamer. Wait, that's actually the wrong article. We're not going to do that. I take that back. This is the one I'm talking about from PC Guide, because we read the statement here from Steam at the end, but I skipped the rest of this article, which is only 2 paragraphs. Let's see what it says here, shall we? Steam users have recently started to notice that PayPal is no longer available as a payment option in their region. Reports caused confusion, as some users were blocked from PayPal, while others were unscathed. Now, Valve has confirmed which currencies are accepted through the popular payment processor: Euro, Canadian dollar, Great British Pound, Japanese yen, Australian dollar, and US dollar. A lot has been happening lately.
They're not allowing the South Korean won? Oh, that sucks. Because South Korea has a big gaming culture. Like, South Korea probably has just as big of a gaming culture as Japan does. And now PayPal has eliminated the South Korean won? Oh, fuck. You're gonna see a lot of fucking backlash from South Korea on this one. Guaranteed. Oh, they are undoubtedly fucking pissed. And who knows? Because of this, maybe the South Korean government will try and do what the U.S. did, at least as far as its government go and try and enact a bill that says no payment processor can deny any South Korean access to payment processing based on et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You're going to have a lot of South Korean gamers flipping their fucking shit over this. And that may just push the government to actually take action. Because we've seen the South Korean government take action on less than this. For fuck's sake, they came out with a public goddamn statement about fucking Johnny Somali. For fuck's sake. And yes, we'll get into that one later. If they made a public statement about Johnny Somali and the gamers start flipping their shit because of this, I could see the South Korean government stepping in and institute a law similar to like the U.S. where it basically tells the payment processors, go fuck yourself. You're going to let our people spend their money on whatever the fuck they want. I could see it happening. I could see it.
With payment processors on Steam and the broader PC gaming market. This kicked off when many adult games were removed from Steam due to clashing with payment processors' rules and guidelines.
Fuck off, Nobby.
Valve responded to the controversy and reimbursed the affected devs with app credits for Steamworks. Those games remain unplayable via Steam. This person on Twitter responds to the news and is like, Grok, explain this in a way that expresses the severity of the matter and how it affects Steam and gamers worldwide.
Okay. Side tangent. Yes, I know you are all shocked and horrified by this. People need to stop with fucking Grok. Okay? I have seen way too many fucking people using Grok as their de facto method of getting information on fucking everything. Like, seriously, people need to stop using AI like ChatGPT, Gemini, Siri, Grok, all of it. Stop. Because these AIs are wrong like half the fucking time. Like, I've been watching Nux's videos while I work lately, and seriously, Nux, I'm begging you, stop using fucking Grok for everything. I see Nux so often, like, wanting to get information and using Grok. And it's like, no, dude, Grok is wrong like half the fucking time. Just do a goddamn Google search and look for an article. People need to stop using Grok like this. This literally every fucking tweet is like, Grok, tell me about this. Grok, is this true? Grok, what does this mean? Like, fucking stop it. Start actually using your brains. Actually like, if you want to know about something, actually just fucking do a Google search and look at the articles that come up with the Google search. Stop relying so much on AI for everything. Because people are using AI for way too fucking much. They're using it to basically for research on everything, which half the time it's going to be wrong, and they're using it as fucking therapists. Okay, for fuck's sake, people are using AI as fucking therapists. This egregious use of AI to get all of your information is going to lead to so much fucking disinformation, nobody's gonna know what the fuck is going on. Yes, Nick, people are using, like, ChatGPT as fucking therapists. I am not bullshitting you. This is happening. So, like, seriously, people need to stop overusing Grok like this as their de facto means of getting information. Fucking stop it. Start actually using your brains, because by continuously using Grok, you are getting dumber as a person. Use your brains. You want to know something? Actually put in the 5 minutes it takes to do the research.
Okay, this PayPal change is a massive blow. It halts Steam purchases via PayPal in all currencies except those that I really don't want to read again. I've read it twice already. We're not going to make it 3. Affecting billions in regions like Latin America, Eastern Europe, Asia, and Africa. Gamers face barriers to buying games, with fewer options leading to potential lost access or higher fees via alternatives like cards or wallet codes. For Steam, it risks revenue drops and user exodus unless new methods are added swiftly. Valve's working on fixes, but
Okay, sorry here. We're going off topic again. Excuse me. Um, Best man, to your point, you said something and it sparked something in my brain that I wanted to actually point out. Best man, you were saying that people have proposed to AIs. There are full-blown fucking subreddits about people that are dating their AIs. I am not lying. I am not bullshitting you. There are literal subreddits full of people that are dating their AI chatbot. This is real. And this should scare the fuck out of you. This should legit scare the fuck out of you. Because bearing in mind, there was a young man who took his own life because his AI chatbot told him to. Okay? This is fucking terrifying.
timelines are unclear. The plot seems to thicken. We take a look at this Reddit comment responding to the news back over on our Steam, and it reads, "Out of pure curiosity, I called PayPal's Polish hotline about this PLN currency. Just like people do with Steam itch.io games. Short version, the lady insisted I contact Steam because they were the ones who pulled the plug, because Steam prefers customers to use their balance, lol."
That's a fucking lie. That's an outright fucking lie. Steam did not pull the plug. PayPal themselves put out the statement that said, we will no longer be offering Steam purchases in these currencies. That was PayPal that put that out, not Steam. So that was a fucking lie. Which, excuse me, which is, again, that whole taking it with a grain of salt thing is sounding, it doesn't paint PayPal in a positive light. It makes it seem like if their customer service line is passing the blame onto Steam when PayPal themselves said our acquiring banks required us to do it, and then customer service is saying, oh no, it was all Steam that did it. So someone's lying. Someone's lying, and as of this moment, based on the two pieces of evidence that we have, it seems like PayPal may be lying.
When I read the information in my Steam shopping cart, she got irritated and said she'd provided all the information and then hung up mid-sentence. That's super fantastic customer service right there, folks. But that wasn't the end. A few hours later, the account was blocked due to suspicion of underage status.
Oh, fuck. Yeah. This shit is getting scary. Because there was a YouTuber, no, Kirby, not now. Time and place. This is getting scary because the YouTuber Archcast got his Steam account, his PayPal account, like, nuked. I know you guys heard about this. There's a YouTuber named Archcast. He got notification that his PayPal account got completely nuked, and they wouldn't tell him why. And he's gonna have to wait probably somewhere in the neighborhood. I think it's like 90 or 120 days, unless this gets resolved. PayPal will not give him the money that's in that PayPal account. They won't send it to him for something like 90 or 120 days, and his PayPal account is still nuked. And this person got blocked due to suspicion of underage status because they called the helpline saying, why can't I buy a game? It's getting fucking scary, and honestly, it scares the shit out of me. This stuff with PayPal scares the fuck out of me. Because PayPal is how I'm able to get revenue from Twitch. This is how I'm able to receive revenue on Twitch, is because of PayPal. Now, I don't keep anything in it. Bear that in mind. I don't keep the money in PayPal. As soon as my transfer comes in from Twitch, the moment because Twitch sends it out on the 15th every month. So 2 days from now, as soon as I get the notification in my email that that Twitch's transfers in there, I instantly go in there and shoot it into the bank instantaneously. I do not let any money sit in PayPal. But it's fucking scary because this is how I earn revenue on Twitch. It's basically the only means I have to earn revenue on Twitch. I don't have an option to have it go straight to the bank. I don't think I have the option to get a paper check because that's all US. Because I'm in Canada, PayPal is the only means I have to earn revenue on Twitch, which is shit. Like, this is partially on Twitch. Twitch should give people that stream outside of the US more options to transfer their revenue than just PayPal. It's like, why is Twitch only allowing direct bank transfers in the US? Why are they not allowing it to any of the streamers outside of the US? Like, if I could do direct bank transfer for my revenue from Twitch, I would do that in a fucking heartbeat. But I can't. No, Kernel is not offered. It is not offered by Twitch at all. PayPal for people outside of the US is the only option. Kick goes through Stripe, giggle fingers. So basically, my options for Kick is through Stripe. And with Stripe, none of it sits in there. With Stripe, it's an automatic. It automatically deposits out, I think. But it's like, yeah. So with what PayPal has been doing as of late, no, Stripe is a global thing, Garrett. It's not Canadian. With what's been happening with PayPal, like this shit, where they're just like they're just throwing blocks and locking down people's accounts like this, and they're like for the claim of suspicious activity, and you as the account holder have like zero option to try and fight it in any way is fucking scary. It is really fucking scary that PayPal can basically hold your revenue, which for some people is their only source of revenue, is terrifying. No, Vishrock, not that I've seen. I checked when I saw Urchcast's announcement that his PayPal account got nuked and he's lost like $12,000 or $15,000. I checked. PayPal's the only option. No, I can't use a different system like Cash App. PayPal is the only one. I can't even switch over to Stripe. It's not an option for me. For people outside of the US, PayPal is the only option. That's it. It sucks and it's really fucking scary. Because if PayPal decides to get a wild hair up its ass, I could lose all my revenue from Twitch. And that's fucking scary. It is scary as hell.
What? Holy smokes, that sucks. Honestly, I'm vindictive enough that I'm going someone on the horn, and I'm going to try to get that person suspended. What? I'm vindictive enough that I'm going someone on the horn. Maybe it's a typo for like I'm gonna get someone on the phone. Like that's such a freaking giant typo though. I have no idea.
Yeah.
I'm going to try.
I think that this random Steamy is just saying I'm vindictive enough that I'm going to get someone on the phone and I'm going to try and get that person suspended. This person's saying that he's going to call the PayPal customer service line and tell them about this and try and get a person suspended, which is not going to work. Because if you call PayPal and say, yeah, some random Redditor said they got their account banned, PayPal's going to go, okay, where's your evidence? And they're going to tell them, fuck off.
That person suspended. I get that customer service sucks and the customer's oftentimes a jerk, but this seems to be something that is definitely going out of their way to screw you over. I don't personally have a PayPal account, but I'd be disappointed in something like this. Yeah, I filed a formal complaint about the quality of customer service as soon as I received the email about the account being blocked. It's obvious to me that's related, but at least I didn't submit a false report. Okay, so there's a lot to unpack in those like mere 4 comments. Person calls PayPal's Polish hotline, gets told that it's Steam's fault, which does not seem to be true. Person refutes that claim, and then suddenly, a few hours later, their account is blocked on suspicion of underage status. A different person responds talking about how they would get someone on the horn, which I think means phone, but I'm really not sure. And the other person who did have that issue says that they filed a formal complaint about the quality of customer service as soon as they received the email about the account being blocked. Okay, I think I got it. So wrapping this up, though, let me know what you think about this recent action from PayPal against Steam, which they're claiming is really the acquiring bank's fault. Similar to what we saw in the past, although with MasterCard, based off Valve's statement, we do seem to know that MasterCard also has some level of involvement, and it's really not just the acquiring banks in that situation. So what do you think about all of this? Who do you think is really at fault? Do you think this is like a joint action by some of these payment processors and acquiring banks to go after platforms like Steam? Or what? Let me know what you think in the comments. Thank you for tuning in. And yeah, look forward to seeing you there. Have a great day. And if you enjoyed my coverage, please consider liking and or subscribing. Appreciate you. See you in the comments and in the next one.
Yeah, see, what I think needs to happen is there needs to start being government regulations on any payment service. Banks, credit cards, or other, i.e. PayPal, Stripe, Venmo, Cash App, all of them. There needs to be some government regulation put into place. There needs to be laws put into place that will not allow any financial institution to be able to keep a person's money like that. That you cannot just shut down their account because of, oh, there's quote unquote suspicious activity, which is just basically something pulling something out of their ass. There needs to be a law that is illegal for them to do this, to protect the consumers, to protect people's money. That needs to happen. So like the law that the US that is working its way through the House needs to cover banks, needs to cover credit cards, and needs to cover any financial other institution, i.e. PayPal, Stripe, Venmo, Cash App, anything that handles finances. In that law, it has to be you cannot deny any payment for any reason other than tangible, actionable, illegal activity, and you are not allowed to close the account because of, quote, suspicious activity. Then the same thing, you cannot shut down a user's account unless there is legal, actionable activity. Illegal, actionable activity. That you are not allowed to close the account. Like, consumer protections need to get ramped the fuck up big time right now, because right now people's finances are literally being held hostage in some ways, and it's going to take acts of Congress to fix it. And so Congress and governments around the world, get the fuck on this now.